Good evening and welcome to the program. You hear the new music playing in the background. We've kind of changed it up a little bit, but it's the same old show, the new twist here and there. I'm Buddy Martin. The program is The Buddy Martin Show, brought to you by Melda Law. Our friends there in Gainesville, Jeffrey Melton has a Thursday night show. Don't forget, part of that Gator hoopla. And we'll be talking to you more about that later. And meanwhile, let's go right to the man himself, the man of the hour, the guy whom I know has been glued to the TV watching golf, probably, and not basketball. We'll see. He's a man of all seasons. He's our own Shane Matthews. What's up, Shane? How you doing, man?
Doing good, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing good today, and I've decided tonight that I'll make a proclamation. We're going to have a good time, okay? If we're going to do these shows and we're paupers, we don't make but 25 cents a show. At least that's all I make. You might make 30. We're going to have a good time. Now, I have a complaint to register, if I may, first with you for the Pot Up with Matthews show, which I enjoy every morning, regardless, no matter what. But I listened to it this morning, and I thought, I heard about, and I love golf, about 15 minutes of golf. I mean, college golf, pro golf, and I like golf as much as anybody. But I'm thinking, did I just miss something, or did Florida just come off one of the really terrific victories they've had in basketball in a long time? I know it got me off my seat, and I really got all jacked up about it and excited. I know it's just one basketball game, but it said a lot. And it was a special day at the O-Dome with the former players coming back. And I just thought, that's just my one little listener complaint, if I may have that with you. And whereas I know there's a lot of action on games, people like to bet on games, I'm one of those guys who just would rather try to enjoy the game. If there's something I want to bet on, fine. But I feel like ESPN has got us so wrapped up in knots. Oh, everything is bet. I'm thinking, this is not what I came here for. I want to kind of enjoy the game, talk about the players, talk about the drama, talk about the joy. Am I just getting too old? Am I the guy? Am I a get off the lawn guy now, Shane?
Pretty much. Buddy, I had 30 minutes of Gator basketball talk with Mike Morgan.
Well, I didn't listen to the last half.
Oh, well, that's why I didn't talk to JC about it. Because
that makes sense, though.
I wanted to talk to a guy who calls the games and knows more about basketball.
That makes a lot of sense. I beg you. I ask apology for that. Didn't hear Mike Morgan, and I love JC, but JC's all about golf, playing, teeing it up, and having a cocktail, and he does a great job. Anyway, that's what I was feeling. I was feeling like, hey, it's fun. It's a fun day. Fun. I mean, you couldn't, what a terrific win, even though they kind of try to give it up a little bit at the end. Every time Kentucky would make a move, Urban Klossvar would put a three on him. And what a great performance he had there. So I don't know, did you enjoy that game?
Yeah, I thought it was a very good game. Kentucky has some size that can give us some problems, and they did at times. Their true freshman Marino is an outstanding player. He was in foul trouble a lot. They got some good guards. They're a good basketball team, but I mean, we're playing at a high level right now. I think our two guards are playing, and throw Urban in there, the three guards are playing outstanding basketball right now. And if they continue to do that, the only team left on our schedule that can give us a challenge would be Arkansas, and then Kentucky again at Rupp Arena.
Yeah. What is that game in Rupp Arena?
Last game of the year.
Okay. Think they'll be laying in the weeds for us?
Well, it won't be easy. I mean, they had some bright spots. They can do some stuff that can cause us some problems because they got some big men that are talented, and they got the Chandler kid's an excellent shooter, and Owe was the preseason SEC Player of the Year, and he's a strong guard. But I mean, Florida's going to make a deep run in the NCAA tournament, and we'll just have to see how far they go.
Yeah. All right. So this is the game where the big guys didn't dominate. I mean, they certainly played well enough, used to seeing Chindu, score, get double doubles. All he got was what, 20 rebounds? I mean, gosh, what a game! Uh, but but the guard play, I mean, Xavier Lee impressed me, and he was a guy that I doubted. I didn't know if he was going to make it from the Ivy League or not. And he's quick. He is so quick to the basket. In fact, Todd made a comment about that um, during the postgame about how somebody did, saying this guy is one of the quickest to the basket guys we know of. And I say that first step he makes, he can get clear and get that bucket and get the hand up there, get that little underhanded layup as good as anybody.
Well, both guards are extremely athletic.
Well, clubs are. Oh, yeah, the other one too. Yeah.
Well, Boogie Flant's an elite.
Boogie's been carrying the team. Yeah, you're right.
He's a really good point guard. He's doing a lot of things that don't show up in the box score. He's not turning the ball over. Xavier Lee shooting the ball well. They both play great defense. Urban does what he does coming off the bench. They're peaking at the right time. Todd's an excellent coach, has a great staff. I expect this team to make a Final Four run.
How does Chinlo do it? Besides being a big body, he is such a strong force.
Well, he gives a lot of effort. There's two things you can't.
Exactly.
There's two things in life that you can control, buddy, regardless of size, speed. If you're talking in athletics, is your attitude and your effort. You can't coach those. And those are two things that the player can control. And Ruben has tremendous attitude and has unbelievable effort on the defensive end.
But are you surprised he's as good as he is?
No.
I mean, he was real terrific last year. I don't think anybody saw it. I mean, we're talking national defensive player of the year here.
Well, nobody saw 2 years ago Walter Clayton being the player that he became the following year.
That is true.
So, I mean, nobody saw Tommy Houck being a good player.
Well, I liked him right off the bat, by the way. I loved him right off the bat, but I'm no expert. I think this basketball. Do you think this basketball team has played its best basketball yet?
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, the key is to be healthy going into the NCAA tournament. Yeah. That's the bottom line. And right now, they are healthy.
Yeah, they are. But by the same token, things can happen in a hurry. Now, they got South Carolina. I heard you and JC making a line.
South Carolina's terrible.
Yeah, and they ought to roll. They got 6 games left for the tournament. I'm not one of these guys who says take it on the easy on the SEC tournament and come on home. I like to see them play their best.
They're not going to do that. They're going to try to.
I know they won't. I like that, don't you? I want them to keep competing. This team has to keep competing at a high level. What was we saw what happened. We obviously saw the guard play pick up. We saw Chinlo, who didn't get the numbers he normally gets, but he still played well. What were the things that you picked up? You're a pretty good, you're a pretty astute basketball fan. What do you see on this team maybe we didn't see?
Well, Kentucky has bigs that can compete with our bigs. That's the difference. That's what you didn't see our bigs dominate the game like they have. There's only one other team in the SEC that has a couple of big men that can do that. It's Arkansas. Arkansas probably has definitely the freshman of the year, maybe the player of the year.
He's a heck of a player. He's a heck of a player.
He's their point guard. But our front court's not going to be tested again until the tournament. You got Michigan, you got Arizona, you got Houston, Duke, which, we've played 2 of those 2 teams already this year, very, very early in the year. But, it all depends on the brackets when they come out, who you're going to be matched up with, because it's all about matchups and basketball especially. But this team, they have the team to win the national title. Now, the ball has to bounce your way. You go back and you look at last year's team, we had to come from behind and win some crazy games. So it's not easy. But this team they have the makeup and the coaching to win it all.
Quite a day for Denzel Aberdeen. He was one of my favorite players. I hate to see him leave. It was an economic choice. I'm told, I don't know this, that he didn't want to go, but was encouraged by his family, whatever, to go. And they had a cap. I guess they couldn't match it. I thought it was a pretty special moment when before the game, he came all the way over to the bench and embraced Todd Golden. And you could tell the way Golden embraced him, that he meant something to him. I hated for that kid. He played well when he scored 17. He got some big hoops that need him. The one guy that didn't show up, I'm disappointed in, was Brown. Now, Isaiah Brown is looking like a real player. He's been doing terrific rebounding, blocking shots, and shooting the three. He just didn't have his game the other night. So I sure hope he has not regressed. Uh, anyway, they're going to have their 8-man rotation down, and they're going to be ready to play. And I think it's going to be some exciting times ahead. But Shane, there's always that one little hiccup that you worry about. And this is the time of the year when you cannot have one. You cannot have one. This team doesn't look like they will, but in college basketball, you just never know.
Well, I mean, they could easily lose to Arkansas or Kentucky. I think those are the only two teams left on the roster that can, or on the schedule, that could beat them until SEC tournament. And if they do lose one, it's no big deal. Sometimes, people say it's good to lose before you get into that run with the SEC tournament and the NCAA tournament.
Mm-hmm.
But again, this team is made up of Todd knows what he's doing, man.
He does.
He's a very confident coach. The team feeds off him, feeds off his energy, and he has that cockiness that people like. He can back it up, and this team can back it up.
I love how when he came out and made the comment about Alabama having a player that might not be eligible, and he said, "Well, I don't care, we'll beat him anyway." They thought that would be. I know they thought that would be bulletin board material.
No, I think Todd knows that Bediako's not a very good player.
No, my point was though that he said it, and when the players mentioned to him, "Way to go, coach! Give him bulletin board," he says, "Well, you guys back it up now. It's on you." I like that. It's on you. And
Bediako is a very, very average basketball player.
7-footer.
That's all.
Yeah. Anyway, so I want to get to football here in just a minute here on Meldon Law. I want to tell you folks about Meldon Law. Remember, they do the law business too. We'll be talking to Jeffrey on Thursday nights now with his Gator Hoopla show. His special guest last week, Matt McCall, and he does that every Thursday night. Jeffrey also practices law. Got to keep reminding him of that, and you, that if you need an attorney, and we're going to need one at some point in our life, whether you want to or not, you might as well get someone you can trust, someone who's a Gator, someone who's been here and who has a track record of doing the right thing for people. We know all the great promotions. He's the only official law firm for the University of Florida injury, and they're really well known for matching you up with the right attorney. They help me. They can help you. Check them out. Go to Meldon Law in one of the 4 locations in North Florida, or if you're in South Florida near the Fort Lauderdale, Miami area, go and check them out. They're now 50 attorneys and growing. Meldon Law, they won't back down. Shane, one personal note, Bill Donovan, Billy's dad, passed away. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you ever met him or not. I knew him pretty well, and I say pretty well. I've sat back in the day when he was sitting on press row. I sat next to Bill a number of times. He was close personal friends with my good friend, Augie Reiner, late Augie Reiner. He's just a prince of a guy. I've had many conversations with him during the night about college basketball, about Billy, and he never tried to get in Billy's way or take his limelight, but a pretty good player himself at Boston College. So, so we lost him. He's 95. He had a good run, but still, RIP to Billy and Bill. Just a good man we lost in the community. We're sorry about that. All right, so let's talk about the head football coach. Let's talk about Coach Spurrier. All right. And then I want to talk about the other guy who actually has the job. I got a text today. You may have gotten it too, from this guy who said basically, what if I have some eligibility left? And there he is. I love that picture. Can you see it? Yeah, all the older players coming back now. Somebody did a Photoshop on that, and they sent that to Steve apparently. And he said, "I'm making a comeback." He tried to text. You know, he's not very good at that. I didn't get the picture, but I got the message. I called him up. We chatted for a minute. That's a pretty cool picture. He kind of liked it, obviously. He tried to send it to me. And he's got his first year coach award coming up on Monday. I know you'll be there. And I understand that Coach Summerall is going to be there, something that the previous coach never bothered to do all those times. I can't believe it. So Coach Spurrier will be there with his team. Dan Mullen coming to town. You like Dan Mullen, didn't you?
Yeah, I thought Dan's a good football coach. It's kind of weird. Dan's been coaching like 20-something years, and he's winning this award.
I know. Well, it's insane. It can be as old as you want to.
No, I know. It's almost like
yeah,
they may need to change it to the coach of the year that in his first stint as a head coach.
The first only one time. Well, it is a first year award. That's what it's for. It's for when you go to a school and you win, and it doesn't matter if you've coached other places. I guess I don't know, but it draws some nice crowds and do a good job, and it's going to be on Monday night. Coach Spurrier, there he is in his outfit, looking like he can go out and tee it up right now, huh? Yeah. So Franz Beard is on here, and I want him to join because one of the things I'm hearing more and more about is I'm hearing from a lot of different people who have had random meetings or whatever with John Summerall. And I know there's a tendency to want him to be everything that we want him to be, but the reports are coming back are quite good. I know Coach Spurrier was talking to his friend Steve Melnick over the weekend, who was in town. Good to see Steve. And he made a comment how much he liked him. He told Melnick how much he liked him. And I asked him, he said, yeah, he liked him too. He's decisive. One of the things that we're going to like about this guy is he's got stones, you know? He's got stones. And I mean, I thought about this today a lot about coaches I've known at Florida. I've known the last 10 pretty well. You know, I will say there are some people that you might not get a direct answer from. And we just had one. But you got some who were just straight up, just straight on. Never wavered again. You knew where you stood with them. And the word I'm hearing back from other people, the players know where they stand with John Summerall. And I'm liking what I'm hearing, Shane. How about you?
Yeah, you hear more than I do, buddy, because I haven't really paid much attention to it. I'll go watch them when they start spring ball. But I like his staff a lot. I think he's made some good hires, especially offensively. And he seems to be enjoying being the head coach of the Florida Gators, going to a lot of different sporting events on campus. And I think we're going to win some games.
That's a combination. Here's a guy who ran into him the other night at the ball game and had a little interlude, and it would be Franz Beard, the author of the famous book, The Golden Season. Evening to you, Franz. Say hello to Shane.
Hey, Shane, what's up, bud?
I'm just sitting here watching Houston and Iowa State go up and down the court. There's supposed to be a defensive battle, and it's a freaking track meet.
Yeah. Hey, you hitting them straight and down the fairway?
I'm playing pretty decent golf right now. It can always be better.
Well, we could always be better, yeah.
Yeah, it's the craziest sport there is.
I saw Mickey Mantle drive at Continental Country Club, drive the 16th. It was 409 yards. He drove it, then four-putted.
You got to tell people who Mickey Mantle was. We're too old for that. Anyway, uh, go ahead and, Franz, I want you to share with Shane in these remaining minutes because he hasn't got that much longer. Share with Shane about your meeting with Summerall the other night, how it went down, and what you said, what he said, etc.
Well, I was on my way back from my car at halftime. Hugh Hathcock wanted one of my books. He saw me giving one to
The
Walt.
golden season available at Spurs.
He saw me give one to Walter Clayton Jr. and to Will Richard, and I signed him for him. And he said, "I want one. I want one." I said, "If you'll hang on, I'll go out to my car and get one because I think I got enough time." And as I came back in the downstairs, up the ramp by where the Kentucky bus was, who did I see just getting off the phone? But John Summerall. He recognized the hat, so he recognized me and came over, and we had about a 5-minute chat. And the first impression I got was, this is a guy who really wants to be here. I mean, I realize there aren't many jobs like Florida. Okay. So you should be kind of happy to be at a place like Florida. But, one of the things, he seems genuinely happy about it. Said his wife and Jerry Spurrier have just totally bonded and have become very, very close. And, was quick to mention that Steve Spurrier and Urban Meyer are always there when he needs them.
I have to interrupt you right now because if I don't, I'll forget this. It's pertaining to what you just said. Talking to Coach Spurrier today, I guess they're buying a house not too far from Steve in Oakmont. Shane, you know where that is?
Yeah, that's where all the coaches live.
Yeah, that's there. This play.
Sully lives there.
Bubba lived there, and Steve Jr. No,
Bubba does not live there.
Okay.
Bubba lives in Hale, but Kevin O'Sullivan lived there. Dan Mullen lived there. There's other assistant coaches. Scott Strickland lives in there.
Okay.
So.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Franz.
Anyway, I was impressed with the fact that, first off, he said, he calls on Spurrier, he calls on Urban. I heard it through a pretty good source that Steve Spurrier will go to his grave before Billy Napier calls him and asks for help. And that includes the 4 years he was here. This is a guy that really understands the magnitude of the Florida job. He understands it's a bigger job than anything that he could have imagined, and he said so. He said, he thought it was big. He said it's bigger than what he thought. And one of the things he was very quick to do was he was quick to point out that Katie, I think her last name's Decker now, used to be Turner, and Savannah Bailey, how the two of them had just pitched in immediately to help make this transition possible. And how impressed he was with the Gator Maid program, how impressed he was with the depth and the knowledge of recruiting for this staff. He really, really went out of his way to discuss what these people have done and how they made his job easier, and how his job now is to take the advantage of what these people are doing for him and turn it into a winning situation. I mentioned to him the Kirk Cignetti line that Kirk Cignetti said, "I win, you can Google it." He said, "I win." I mean, he was very, very quick with that. But the thing we got into real discussion about was the fact that he wants to be transparent. He wants to be part of this community.
What a concept.
Yeah. He wants people to know who his kids are, who his wife is, who his family is. He wants people to know who he is.
And that comes across, and I think you mentioned this. So Shane, did you happen to see the interview he did with Allie Pete Wilbur?
I did not.
Shane, you should watch it because you'll learn more about this man. And we've said this in the 20 minutes on this terrific interview that she did. By the way, this is not a beat reporter. This is a woman she has 5 children now. She adopted 5 children, does a podcast, put a request in about a month ago, and wound up having one-on-one with the head coach, and she held her own and then some. And you could tell in his answers that he respected her questions. And it really was one of the best interviews of a Florida coach I had seen in years. And she smoked it, man. I'm telling you what. And Franz, you saw it. You said to me immediately, God, ESPN will hire her,
Yeah, they should. I mean, it would talk about as professionally done an interview. And I don't know if Allie has had any professional training as an interviewer or something like that. I have no idea if she does.
I can tell you she has not.
But what I can tell you is somebody out there needs to find out that maybe they're missing the mark at some of these journalism schools, because some of these people out there who have all the degrees and whatever like that can't even come close to what that was. That was a professional, thorough, well thought out interview.
Yeah. It was.
I mentioned that to him, and he grinned about that. And he has come and he says, I am going to be transparent here. He said, people are going to know me. They're going to know my family. They're going to know why we embrace this community and why we love it here.
Shane, you get any feedback on that kind of stuff from anybody about him?
I mean, you guys are in that whole mix. I'm not in that mix.
But you're around players and people that are hanging out there in the ball yard and stuff. What is the vibe you're getting out of there?
But buddy, I have not been on campus yet. Since the last time I was on campus was, I mean, if you call the university golf course campus, I'm there quite a bit. But I have not been around. I mean, people are excited about John Summerall. There's no question about that. Like I said, I'm extremely excited about him and Buster Faulkner.
Yeah. I want to see what Faulkner's got too. Well, I think that's the thing. And I thought about this for a while. I thought, gosh, I hate myself for getting all enthused. I thought, what the hell? Why not? I've seen enough to know now that so far I like what I see. And there's nothing wrong with saying that. I'm not getting over my skis or predicting championships, whatever. I like what I'm seeing. And I like where this is going at this point in time. And there's nothing wrong with being a little hopeful. I think we all are that. We know the football's got. And I'll tell you what else he may be doing. I hate to badmouth the last guy, but he's made me realize what a poor job the last guy did. He did a poor job. He kept information from you, did not want you to know anything about him. As I said, we learned more about him in 20 minutes than Billy gave us in 4 years. So there you go. Now, I've got a project for you guys, and I want you to sign on right now. Raise your right hand and sign on to it. I have heard enough, seen enough where I'm going to announce this soon. And that is my whole campaign to bring back Gator Bait. Okay? Bring back Gator Bait. I think we get the endorsement of the head coach who made a comment about that. And I know people who want it. I know a lot of people want it, and we're not even sure what happened to it. Exactly why it went away. And we can do that by celebrating it in many ways. Number one, having the cheer, whether the band plays it or not. But I also think you want to wear the gear, And I've talked to Shane about this. He sent me a link, and there are some things we're going to get together with Freddie Weeby on and put some stuff out there about, for those who want to have the word Gator Bait, I want to reclaim it. This is the time to do it. I think it's time, don't you guys?
I agree 100%.
Well, Lawrence Wright, trust me, if Lawrence Wright had thought for 1 nanosecond that there was anything racist about it, he would have not stood at the midfield with a flag in hand and hollered, "If you ain't a Gator, you are Gator Bait."
Yeah, I don't know where that came from. I do know where it came from, but I've thought about this column I'm writing about why we should do away with Go Gators. Because one time there was a guy who was a Gator fan and got in a car and had something to drink, and he yelled "Go Gators" and ran into somebody. Therefore, let's get rid of that. So, I mean, there's the story, the cockamamie story. I've been around this program a long time, damn near 90 years. Okay, and I've knew a lot of people before that. And never in my life, and I've known people who were around way before me, have I ever heard one smidgen of truth in the story they put out there about it being used for black children to get gators. That's the story put out there by the woke people and whoever, and it destroyed something which is very precious. I just want to say once and for all, I'm on the man. I'm on the bandstand. I'm cheering for bring back Gator bait. Okay, there's Barone, our guy. There he is, right there, popping in. Yeah, there you go, Barone. I think we can get some folks. What do you think, Barone? Can we get some people behind this? Let's do that. And this guy says, "I'm getting rid of everything." This is a time now where we can put things back together, including just right now. If I did this. We're talking about a really fabulous month or two coming up here. A football team that's worth talking about, and the plans and the coaches and the players, and they're getting people excited talking about it. Shane wants to see the offense and the quarterbacks, whatever. We all want to see what Buster Faulkner can do. And then we got a basketball team. I'm telling you guys, I don't want to get over my skis here, but I don't see how you can play better. These guys have played. What's the string of 20-point wins? 5 in a row, is it, France?
Well, they won by 9 the other night, but they won the last 5 games by 118 points.
Yeah.
That should tell you something right there. And you look at the wins they've had this season. They're just blowing people out. They did that last year. And here's something that's interesting. For all the folks who think that, boy, last year was a great offensive team and this year's team has to play defense. Well, last year's team played pretty good defense too. But here's the thing. This year's team scored more points than last year's team.
Mm-hmm. They're better offensively and defensively than last year.
This year's team has made more 3-pointers than the other team. What does that tell you? People say, well, we can't shoot. Well, I made a comment last week on this on Buddy's show. Maybe we ought to start giving out assists to guys who miss threes because our guys get a rebound and stick it back in there. They're just dominating. They may be the best rebounding team we've seen in, I would say, maybe since the 96 Kentucky team, and which was pretty damn good rebounding team. They can get the ball, they can defend, they can beat you multiple ways. And now you look at what's coming off the bench. Florida's 3 guys off the bench are really good. And you know, it's easy to give a lot of credit to Irving Clavjar, because I call him Lethal Weapon 3, because he just nails shot after shot after shot. But as I look at him, you look at what Hanlockton is doing. Micah is incredibly good. Now, he doesn't have the offensive skills of some of these other guys, but he may be a better rim protector himself, and he's a tremendous rebounder, a very good passer. I can't say enough good things about Isaiah Brown. He just does.
Didn't have his best game against Kentucky.
Well, offensively, yeah, you could say that.
Didn't score a point.
Didn't score a point. But I looked at what he did. He was on Denzel for 3 minutes, and Denzel turned the ball over twice. He was on Otega Owe for 3 minutes. Otega Owe couldn't hit the a bull in the ass with a bass fiddle from point blank range with Isaiah.
I think Denzel played pretty well, if you ask me.
Well, he did, but he took 21 shots to make 19
Well, okay,
points.
whatever he's gonna do. He hit key shots that were out of it. He kept bringing it back in, bringing it back. I was impressed with him, and I thought about that kid. And I feel kind of bad for him because he got caught in a crunch. I think if he had his choice, he would have stayed, Gene. I think he really wanted to stay, and I love what he did at the beginning of the game when he was getting booed by everybody, and he was introduced. He came over and hugged Todd.
Yeah.
And you could tell Todd it was meaningful. I know Shane didn't like you get all touchy and feely about these things, but
No, I get. I mean, I thought that was great too. But whether Denzel wanted to stay or not, we weren't going to pay him more than he was worth.
Couldn't afford.
And I love both our guards. A lot of people don't. Franz, any chance? I'm moving forward to next year's portal class. Any chance Marino and Chandler from Kentucky will go in the portal?
I think Kentucky's situation is strange, and I think that they're going to lose some guys.
Well, I'd like to have those two next year.
Colin Chandler is an absolutely incredible shooter.
Yes, and I think Marino is outstanding big man.
He's a great freshman.
He's a freshman, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's a Lexington kid. He's a Lexington kid who grew up. He grew up right there. Playing for Kentucky was always
Georgetown, right?
Yeah, which is what 8 miles north.
Yeah, right.
8 miles north.
Well, never mind. I was wishful thinking, I guess.
Well,
why are you so unhappy with what we got, Shane? We're going,
buddy. I'm talking about next year.
Yeah, I know. We'll get other guys coming.
Who are they?
Well, I don't know yet.
Okay,
Todd's got some for you in the portal. Yeah, I mean, fine, get one or two of them, but I'm saying I don't look at any team with great envy and say, "Well, I wish I had those guys." I love the team we got, and the reason
I agree, but I'm telling you right now, if you had a chance to get those two out of the portal, I think they're phenomenal players.
Well, I'm not denying that, but I think it's about chemistry too. And what I love about Todd is he's a chemistry builder. He put a team together that loves playing together. They love playing together, and you can tell on the course. They're pretty unselfish.
Those two, if he thought they'd fit in, they'd be great.
Well, I'm sure. How much are they going to cost now?
I don't know. Like I said, it's wishful thinking.
Yeah.
There are guys that are going to be available in the portal next year that everybody needs to look out for. There's a kid named Steinbach at the University of Washington, for example, 6'11" freshman. There's a guy down in South Florida named Isaiah Nelson, who is a big time baller. I'm talking about big guy, just big guys. The kid that they're bringing in from North Carolina, the high school kid, is a very, very, very good ball player. There are going to be some really, really good ball players out there. I think that this is not going to be a problem next year, and I think I do believe that Micah will get an extra year. I believe so. The way the NCAA has been, if Michael wants to come back, I think Michael will be able to get another year. At some point in time, Ollie's going to be a player.
What about him? I want to know a little more about it. Is he going to be able to? I mean, is he getting better or what?
Yeah. You ask the guys who play with him in practice, he is. The one thing I'm looking forward to at some point in time, and I think we'll see it happen this year during the season. Okay, as you know, after a made basket, you can move under the basket to inbound the ball.
Not always, though.
But yeah, you can. After a made basket, you can, but not after a dead ball. After a dead ball, you can't. Okay, you get toward the end of a game, dead ball, and they've got to make a long pass down court to save the game. Put Ollie in there, 7'9", 7'10", arms up like that. Somebody's going to have to throw the ball so damn high that they're going to have to call a fair catch at the other end. And I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen at the end of a half or a situation like that, end of a game.
I like that. That sounds pretty good, Shane, to me. I like that.
Yeah, it's got to be where it's the last play of the half or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a liability if you're playing up and down the floor.
It's not easy to get the ball in bounds. People don't understand how hard it can be, and a lot of games are won and lost on getting the ball in, and we think we see Kevin. He's in the dark shadows there somewhere. Sounds like him. And we lost him. He didn't last very long. He's trying to go on his phone. Yeah, so we'll keep trying with Kevin. I do, Shane, what Franz is telling us is Ollie is more than just a freak, okay?
I hope Ollie comes around. I'm going to be one of that. I don't think he'll ever play any meaningful minutes. I just don't think he's athletic enough. He might be able to come in for maybe one up and down the floor next year, 2 years from now. I hope he proves me wrong, but I don't see it. Okay,
well, that's fair enough.
I mean, like I said, I hope it turns out. I just don't know.
I hear you.
I feel like he's a liability.
Yeah, right now, but he may get better.
But I don't know. He's not going to get any more athletic.
Well, I'll never be a starter. I mean,
yeah, well, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm going to try one more time with Kevin.
But
I'll try one more time
for special stuff.
Kevin, we're not going to be able to make it tonight. You're just not coming in and out, so we'll have to cancel that.
Well, all I got to say, I don't know that he's going to ever be a starter. He may be, but I don't hold it against him because he's a hard worker, number one. And the second thing I look at is this, guys. I remember sitting with Billy Donovan at the Peach Jam back in Augusta, Georgia, and having an SEC coach, a very, very prominent one, who's still coaching, tell Billy Donovan, you will be fortunate if Al Horford can play meaningful minutes by the time he's a senior. The same guy says, Noah is an absolute disaster. That is a wasted scholarship. Well, last I checked, they turned out pretty good, both of them. And it just goes to show you that sometimes guys develop at a slower pace than other guys. I mean, Shane, you were there when a guy named Scott Joslin came in. And Scott Joslin was the all interplanetary offensive lineman, greatest high school. I think it was, who was it? Lemming. It was either Lemming or the guy that called Emmitt Smith a plugger, said that this guy may be the greatest high school offensive lineman of all time. And Florida got him. How many meaningful snaps did Scott Joslin ever get?
I don't know if you ever had a snap.
I don't either. And yet you get some guys like a guy like Tony Rowell, who came here and all he was mean, and he started on the offensive line for 2 years, and he was kind of the emotional guy that really held your line together for a couple of years there. You just don't know about these guys.
Very true.
I don't know that he'll ever, I don't know how, I don't see him in the gym. I don't see him working with the weights. The thing that he can do is he can run up and down the court, straight up and down. What we don't see haven't been able to see is the lateral movement. And that's going to tell if he can or can't play. Can he move laterally? Because if he can move laterally, he's going to be functional. I'm not going to say great, but he's going to be functional. Now, I have a business partner whose son played at Montverde, and they played a game over at IMG, and he said his lasting memory of Ollie is taking a pass right here and going over his head and dunking it without ever leaving the floor. Didn't even flat-footed, just reached over his shoulder and dunked it over like that. You can't teach that. There's one thing that you cannot do, and that is teach tall.
Let me get this in. I'm sorry, Franz. Go ahead. I don't want to get this question here. If you got a thought, go ahead and finish it up. That it, Franz?
That's it. That's
okay.
it.
This guy brings an interesting point. Would Boogie come back?
Yeah.
And that's a big if right there. This team.
Nope. Back.
You think he will?
Yep. He's not going to be a first round pick. Number one.
Yeah.
He will make more money at Florida.
Yeah.
Than on his current contract. He's got a 2-year contract at Florida. He'll make more money at Florida than he will in the G League or as a second rounder.
Yeah.
Second round salaries are not guaranteed. Number one.
Good point. Yeah.
Number two, the second round salary cap typically, unless a rarity is you get a guy like Chandler Parsons, who got a 2-year contract, who got a big bonus and a big contract as a second round guy. Will Richard got a pretty good contract. Elijah Martin got a pretty good contract, but they did not get Chandler Parsons money. And these days and times, if you've got a good college contract with guaranteed money, you're going to see a lot of guys who say, professional basketball will still be there when I get finished. I need to make the money while I can.
Yeah. Well, you talking about next year, you talking about the players for Kentucky, you'd like to say, I would love to see Boogie Flynn come back, Shane. That was what I would like to see. That would make this team quite well. They're going to lose their big guys, obviously Chandler, whatever. But I think that would be a good start.
All the guards will be back.
Well, Xavier's a senior, so he won't be. He'll move on. But you got.
We probably could petition and get another year.
But you got.
Klawsar, he may or may not.
will be back. AJ and Isaiah. People don't realize Isaiah is the best shooter on the team. I'm telling you, I mean, not Isaiah, but AJ is the best shooter on the team. And he's redshirting this year. Next year, they'll have AJ and Isaiah, Klawsar. I love CJ Ingram.
Yeah, what about CJ Ingram? He's kind of gotten lost.
Yeah, he plays great defense. He's learning the offense. He's happy where he is, and he'll stay. Yeah, he'll stay. And he's growing. He's 6'7" now. He's going to be 6'8" or so by the time he finishes growing.
Have you seen him, Shane? Ingram?
You mean seen him where?
Basketball player. Playing basketball.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't played a lot for us this year.
No, that's what I mean. I just wonder if you've seen him at all and what you thought.
Well, he's athletic, and you got to be somewhat athletic to play college basketball. Time will tell. I think he's got a bright future. Hopefully, it's here. But in today's world, you never know what's going to happen. There could be a coach somewhere that loves him.
Yeah,
and says, you know what, here's what we'll pay you, and we may not want to match that. So you never know how college athletics works out. But he's very, very athletic.
All right, I'm going to give a couple of random thoughts and let Shane get out of here. But one of the things I want to say is I got to get these polls explained to me. I've seen they're 11, they're 12. Allegedly, they're 11 in the coaches poll. Last week, 14. RPI, 12, and the current net, I don't even know what the net is, 9. We have 2 spots in USA Today coaches poll. So they're number 4 from 14 to 11. So on the 5-game win streak defeated Georgia State. So, what is the hard number? Is it 11, Franz? Is that what it is?
The AP poll's the one that's the one that's taken seriously. The coaches poll isn't, simply because it's kind of like football. Too often, the people who vote on the coaches poll are some SID or SD who has no clue about anything. And he just, a lot of times the SID just looks at what the AP poll is and shuffles a couple.
But they were 11 in the AP poll too, right?
They're 12 in the AP. They're 11
okay.
in the coaches.
Well,
The
this is a
numbers.
team.
The place to look at is this, buddy. Look at the analytics. Look at what Florida is number 5 at Ken Pomeroy. Ken Pom.
Yeah.
They're number 4 at Bart Torvik. Those are the big analytics.
Yeah.
Those are the big analytics. Florida ranks ahead of Illinois, Duke, Purdue, Iowa State, Connecticut in Bart Torvik. Okay. Yeah. At Ken Pom, they rank ahead of Illinois, Iowa State, Purdue, UConn, Gonzaga, and Nebraska. Okay. And, and trust me, the SEC is a good league. The SEC is still top to bottom. It's the most competitive league in the country. The Big Ten, there are 18 teams in the Big Ten, and 42 of them will get selected for the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, okay. Shane, let me get your thoughts before you go. Michigan vaulted to the top. They got a lot better. Top 10, if you didn't hear the coaches poll, was Michigan, Houston, Duke, Arizona, UConn, Iowa State, Purdue, Gonzaga, Nebraska, and Illinois. I think Florida's better than at least 5 of those teams, maybe. Michigan, I don't know how they match up. What's your thought about that, Shane?
Michigan's very good. They have like an NBA roster. They're big like we are. I think there's any of those 10 teams in the top 10, add Florida to them, can win the national title.
Okay. Who's on the show tomorrow?
You, buddy.
That's it? That's all you got? Man,
JC does the second portion of the show.
Oh, that's right. Get that gamblers. Just what we need is some more gambling. Everything's about gamble. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Shane, he does a good job. I know people like it. I just get a little tired of it. All right, Shane. Thank you, buddy. I'll see you in the morning. Appreciate it.
All right. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you. Great Shane Matthews. You check him out every morning. If you're not getting his program, you're missing it. All right, Franz, you got about 4 minutes to regale us with stories that you've got in your book, which is doing quite well. You got the head football coach asking for a copy. You're now there, even recognizing your hat. Hey, I know that hat. You're becoming the big celebrity.
I gave John a copy of the book. I was bringing back 2 copies, one for Hugh Hathcock, and I gave John a book. And I was really pleased that Walter got it and he just hugged me and says, "I'll read this tonight." And
nice.
That's nice. And I saw Will, and I said, "You were the cornerstone. You were the guy that started out 4 years ago, mm-hmm. and you're the guy that started it all." And obviously, he was quite pleased with that. The story that I love about this team.
By the way, the coupon in the top right corner is where you can order your copy if you'd like from Spurrier's right there. Click on that coupon QR code. Go ahead, Franz.
Here's what I remember about this team is I remember the feeling of closeness that you got, that this really was a team that didn't really care who scored what or how many rebounds anybody got, as long as they made the plays as a team that won the game. It was all about the team. As this team evolves, I'm seeing a lot of last year in them. And I say that I hesitate to say that because every year is a new year. And this isn't last year's team. And it's taken a while, I think, for these guys to figure out that it is not last year's team, that this is a brand new year with everything brand new. But in saying that, what I see that's a lot of last year is I see a lot of that same unselfishness. I see a lot of that same willingness to be there for everybody. This told me a lot about these guys, how to a guy, they embraced Denzel Aberdeen. They loved Denzel. Tommy said, he's our brother. For 40 minutes, he's our enemy, and we're going to do everything we can to beat him. But before the game, after the game, he's our brother and we love him. the bond that great teams have. Good teams don't have them, buddy. You've been around enough championship teams. I'll give you a good example. You were around 2 Denver Broncos Super Bowl champs. You know the bond that Mike Shanahan was able to create with those guys, and they because of that, they were the best team out there. They won 2 Super Bowls because of that bond. Terry, you and Terry are close, and Terry Bradshaw. You hear him talk about the 70s Steelers teams that won 4. And for my money, still one of the 2 or 3 best dynasties out there. I think they would have beaten any of the San Francisco teams that won championships with Joe Montana and stuff like that. Probably would have beaten most of the teams that the Patriots had.
Yeah,
but
I hate to cut you off here, but we only got about 30 seconds. Go ahead.
There's a bond that great teams have that lasts forever. And that still exists with Terry. That still exists with Elway and these guys. The bond that is there from last year has carried over to this year. They've embraced the new guys. This is a team that can win it all.
Yeah.
Very, very definitely can win it all.
Right. I mentioned Bill Donovan Sr., RIP to him. There's, I think, a special Catholic ceremony tomorrow for him. My friend Sue Gunner told me about it. I also want to mention Robert Duvall. Absolutely one of my all-time favorite actors. I loved him in so many things. I mean, you go look at the movies he made. That man has so many great ones. I know I'm going to go back now and I ask you the question real fast, friends. If you got to go see a Robert Duvall movie or a series that you missed, what would it be?
The Great Santini.
Yeah, that was a guy. I never saw that either. That was a good one. That was based on the basketball player of the Citadel.
No, it was based on the father as a Marine. He was a Marine pilot, and he was hard on his kids, but he was a real serious Marine. It's based on a true story.
And also Lonesome Dove. I never got to see that. I wanted to see it. And one of my personal favorites is the movie The Apostle, which you haven't heard much about. I just thought he was a wonderful actor, credible actor. And I loved he took the summer off one year. His wife is Argentinian, I believe. They went to South America and danced the tango all summer. He loved the tango, you know. So
do you know he had a horse farm between Micanopy and McIntosh?
I did not know that. No, I did not.
He was. He raised show horses. He was a
good stuff. Horse. All right, Francis, I got to go. Tell the folks about our sponsors. Appreciate you, buddy. Good job. All right. All right, that's Franz Beard. You can read him on Gator Bait. Always don't miss it. Also, I want to tell you about our fine friends at Titan MRI and Imaging. I want you to get to know who these people are because they're special. Titan MRI Imaging is got 3 locations to serve you in Gainesville now. Actually, 2 in Gainesville, 1 and 1 close by. Located now in Lennon Center and 1 in Lake City, serving all of Columbia County and Valdosta. Offer the same great customer service. They accept insurance, or you can go through the convenient self-pay options in their program. They offer MRIs, CAT scans, X-rays, and ultrasounds. Easy scheduling, lots of options. They'll make you a nighttime appointment if you need it, or if you can't, they'll make it work for you in your schedule. They have the larger machines for your comfort. No ERs, no hospitals. Come into Ocala soon for better service. So check it out. Titan MRI and Imaging. I want to thank our guest tonight, of course, Shane Matthews, who will be on tomorrow. Don't forget, check him out. I'll be on with him tomorrow morning. And also I want to thank Franz Beard. I'm sorry about Kevin. Unfortunately, Kevin Brockway was out and about. He thought he was going to be able to get back in time, and he had some problems. We'll catch up with him later on. Don't forget, Lauren Meadows tomorrow night on the program. And we will catch up to you then. Have a good night, folks.